all-new Dr. Phil. Her sister claims she has a mental illness.
It makes her lie, cheat, steal. You're not buying it.
Not at all. Courtney stole my driver's license.
She got busted in the car, and she had your driver's license.
Correct.
She doesn't go to court, so then you get arrested.
She's here today.
You have this attitude, this chip on your shoulder.
But will she confess?
The craziest thing that she's done is she's faked being pregnant on 3 separate occasions.
This is the sonogram that Courtney texted me.
You gave her a positive pregnancy stick. Where'd you get it?
That's irrelevant.
That's so not irrelevant. You knew you weren't pregnant.
Why did you do that? I don't know.
I don't accept that answer. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Stacy says she and her younger sister Courtney grew up being best friends as little girls. They were sharing a room, toys, always being by each other's side. But Stacy claims that all that changed during high school when Courtney fell in with the wrong crowd and she started stealing Stacy's clothes and jewelry before moving up to cash and credit cards. Now, Courtney is now 27, and she's up the ante with 2 DUIs, driving without a license, and second-degree assault on a cop. Now, her family also claims she lied about pawning her dad Mitch's wedding band, stealing her mother Kathy's prescription pills, and being pregnant not 1, not 2, but 3 times. But Courtney says she has a perfectly good reason for all of this. She claims lying and stealing is part of her mental illness, which she claims is bipolar and ADHD, and she can't help her behavior. Well, Stacy says she doesn't give a crap anymore because she is over her sister's victim routine, and whatever mental illness she may or may not have, she says does not justify her shady criminal lifestyle.
My younger sister, Courtney, is a lying, stealing, manipulative bitch. If her mouth is moving, she's lying.
Yeah, I know when I told Dad I'd pay him back.
When are you paying back?
When I can.
She absolutely cannot be trusted. I really started noticing Courtney's lying when we were in high school. One time, I couldn't find a necklace my parents had given me, and I saw her at school that morning, and sure enough, she was wearing my necklace. I totally lost it, and we both ended up in the principal's office. She ripped it off her neck, and it flew across the room. She was such a bitch about it. As an adult, her lying has only escalated. Courtney will lie, deny, and cry until you have her backed into a corner. Courtney has taken jewelry, clothes, money. The list goes on. She's even stolen my son's medication. There's 2 things in my world you don't mess with, my kid and my money, and she's done both. One time I was out with Courtney, and I gave her my ATM card to grab me something from the store. She used it to wire herself a couple of $100s. A few years ago, Courtney stole my driver's license from me so she could legally drive one of her friend's cars. She was pulled over and arrested for having something illegal in the car, maybe drugs, I don't know. She didn't show up for court, and there was a warrant out for my arrest. I was forced to sit in jail until it all got sorted out. It's always the police's fault or somebody else's fault. It's never her fault. The craziest thing that she's done is she's faked being pregnant on 3 separate occasions. A couple months ago, she was pregnant for the 3rd time. But there was just a few things that did not add up. The top part of the sonogram was cut off in the picture, and I asked her why. She told me she couldn't get an actual printout because insurance wouldn't cover it. I knew it was Last week, she told me that she miscarried, and I thought, oh, shocker. Courtney also claims that she has a mental illness. I feel like she uses her undiagnosed mental illness to justify her bad behavior. At this point, I'm just completely done with her.
Okay. Now, Stacy, you're obviously not completely done with her because you wrote in.
Correct.
So is this kind of like your last-ditch effort?
Yes.
But if she doesn't get turned around here,
Done. So I'm
You're done.
completely cutting her off. Yes.
She started stealing your money, credit cards, all of that. What did she say when you would confront her about that?
She would just bold-faced lie about it.
Just straight up lie?
Yes.
Well, let's kind of go through a list of her lies according to you and the family. You say that she took her mom's iPad and then blamed the nephew.
Yes.
Okay, when you say she took it, what does she do with this stuff?
So she takes it and like she'll use it. And then my mom couldn't find it. My mom asked her about it. She's like, oh no, I don't know. And then plots it under my son's bed to make it look like he took it.
Oh, okay. Okay, now she got arrested and she got busted in the car and she had your driver's license.
Correct.
And so she gets a ticket?
Yes, but she got arrested for whatever.
Okay, didn't tell anybody.
Right.
So she doesn't go to court, she doesn't honor the ticket, and so they put out a warrant.
For my arrest.
And so then you get arrested.
My dad told her she needs to go turn herself in and do the right thing. So we both went together and she admitted it to the cops that she did steal my driver's license.
But did they hold you?
Yeah. Because I was the one that technically had a warrant.
She's faked an injury so she had a place to sleep. She claimed being pregnant 3 times.
Yes.
What was she ever?
I don't think so.
Okay, what was her gain? What was she trying to get?
Money, to keep a relationship. Those are just my observations.
Oh, so you're just trying to get the hook further into somebody?
Yeah.
What do you mean money? How, do you get paid for?
Well, get money for abortions and then not using it for what she's, the abortion.
Okay, so she'd say, I'm pregnant, I need money for an abortion. And then she didn't need the abortion, so she just got to keep the money.
Yeah.
And she sent a picture of an ultrasound.
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd she get that?
I don't know. You can find anything online.
Yeah. Well, your mother thinks it might have been one of her ultrasounds.
In the past, she used one of mine to show people, but the recent one, I don't know where she got it.
So what is this mental illness thing? So she says it's like the devil made me do it, right? She says she's got a mental illness. When the mental illness is ADHD?
She's got ADHD, depression, and borderline personality disorder, she claims.
Okay, oh, that's a new one. Borderline personality disorder. Okay. What about bipolar?
That's what she says as well.
Okay. All right, and she says this stuff makes her lie, cheat, steal, fake pregnancies.
Right.
And you're not buying it?
No, not at all. I mean, something has to be wrong with her for her to do these things that people do.
But has she ever been diagnosed, or is this just she diagnoses herself?
She says she has.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Do you know if she's ever been in therapy? Has she ever gone?
She's supposed to be going, but she doesn't go.
She doesn't go?
Correct.
Okay, well, look, Stacey says Courtney was in jail for 2 weeks for leaving a nail salon without paying, so she just
petty
got her
theft.
nails done and just walked out?
Yeah.
Well, don't they kind of notice if you, like, don't stop at the cash register?
Yeah. I guess she got out
I mean, I've
quick.
never been in a nail salon, but it would seem to me that you got to stop and pay.
Yeah. That's how it goes. You stop, you get your nails in, you pay, and then you leave.
Did they chase her down?
I guess she just got away quickly.
Did she get away with it?
Yeah, well, no, I guess they called the cops found out. So, you know what I know they have, when people are leaving, they do have security footage where they take your picture if you leave. I think that's what happened.
Oh. But that's something that's not essential. It wasn't like she stole bread.
Right.
She went and got her nails done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Stacey says her parents allow her sister to live at home rent-free despite her behavior, but mom and dad claim they have a good reason for doing this. So what is it? I mean, are they enabling her? Are they rewarding bad behavior? What's going on? We'll find out when we come back.
Two weeks ago, Courtney came and told me she was pregnant.
Personally, I think she uses the pregnancies to stay in relationships with the guy or to extort money.
My daughter Courtney is a compulsive liar.
What Courtney's doing borders on criminal behavior.
And later,
Said, I have a present for you, Mom. Says, can't wait to meet you, Mimi. And it's a pregnancy test, positive.
oh, wow. Oh, so you're pregnant?
No.
You gave her a positive pregnancy stick?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
That's irrelevant.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, The Girlfriend.
Do you think he's cheating on you?
Not right now, but I know he has.
Not right now, because he's in the green room.
The Daughter.
When they started dating, my dad was with someone else.
I wasn't with somebody else.
You told me to keep it a secret.
And
My ex-wife fooled around on me.
Why do you say ex-wife? You're still married.
the wife
I was faithful to you.
confront the man in their lives.
Everybody's going to see how you act.
This is how I act with cheating women.
Why haven't you signed the divorce papers?
Because I've never been presented with papers to sign.
Well, I have them right here.
That's tomorrow.
Hands down, my sister Courtney does have a lot of problems and issues. At the moment, Courtney does not have a job, a car, or even a driver's license. Courtney's problem is intensified because my parents completely enable her. Courtney gets away with murder. My mom enables Courtney by not putting her foot down and still letting her live at home. When it comes to my dad, if Courtney needs money, he'll hand it to her and never expects her to pay him back. It's so frustrating to see how my parents handle Courtney. They just need to cut her off.
Well, Stacy says living in her parents' home is risky because the entire family has to hide cash, jewelry, all valuables, or her younger sister, Courtney, is just going to steal them. Now, her parents, Mitch and Kathy, agree it's a horrible problem, but say they feel trapped. Now, they've tried kicking Courtney out twice, but they say they took her back in after seeing how she just simply cannot make it on her own.
My wife and I are completely at our wits' end with our daughter, Courtney.
My daughter Courtney is a compulsive liar.
The moment she starts denying anything, then I know she's not telling the truth.
Lying is in Courtney's DNA.
Lying is all my daughter knows.
A kleptomaniac would be a very fair way for me to describe my daughter.
A few years ago, my wife had a few necklaces missing.
My husband's wedding band was also missing.
I confronted Courtney about this. She denied it. I was irate, and then finally Courtney confessed that she did pawn them.
She wanted to bail her boyfriend out of jail. I was freaked out. I couldn't believe she did that.
Courtney could care less.
Our house is on lockdown. We have to hide everything.
Over the years, she's taken thousands of dollars in cash from us.
We'd get our credit card statement, and there were all these things on it that we didn't know about.
She's bought cell phones, gift cards, clothes. It wasn't our charges. Then we called the credit card company to dispute it. We know it's Courtney. That's the one that's doing it.
2 weeks ago, Courtney came and told me she was pregnant.
She's eating everything in our house that's fattening to try to put on some weight. Her butt was bigger and her thighs were bigger, but I didn't see a lot of stomach bigger.
This is a cry for attention.
What Courtney's doing borders on criminal behavior. I go on the internet to see if there's any new arrests for her. There's charges for theft, driving under the influence, and I've also found warrants for her arrest.
I watch a lot of Dr. Phil, and the way he treats adults at home is to kick them out. My husband and I have kicked her out of the house twice.
It just breaks my heart to have to do that to her.
Mitch is more lenient and softer on her. I really need Mitch to stand up and be tough with her.
What do you think is going on with her?
Well, the reason why I think it's a mental issue is because unless she's just a spoiled brat, which we didn't raise her that way, that there's something else wrong.
Is she a spoiled brat?
Yes.
What do you think's going on, Dad?
I don't know what, there's something wrong with her mentally. I mean, growing up, she was the sweetest little girl. You know, we went everywhere together.
Looking back, is there a time, and there's not a right or wrong answer here, and the answer may be no, but is there a time that in looking back where something changed?
I think when she went to private school, she didn't like it, but she said they were bullying her. When she went into middle school, she just went with the crowd that would accept her. And that's when she started doing the stealing. I found out recently that she's been on drugs, but she did a good fake because I had no idea that she was on drugs.
I have a list of things that I think you guys are doing that contribute to her current lifestyle.
Okay.
And here it is. Courtney lives rent-free. You pay her bills, provide food, provide transportation. You don't prosecute her when she does something, breaks the law. You bail her out if she does. You allow her to return home. You put her out twice, she comes back. I believe necessity is the mother of invention. If you get hungry, then you find a way to get food.
Well, she got hungry, stole a can of soup from the grocery store, and they caught her, and she had to go down to jail.
And you bailed her out.
Well, Mitch did. But anyway.
Wait a minute.
No.
We were in
Well, at least
agreement,
in
Dr.
jail,
Phil.
You don't like this one.
But at least in jail, she's got 3 hots and a cot.
Right. But
Wait a minute, let me back up there.
Okay.
We let her stay in there for 2 weeks. We went through the crisis center, the mental health court, and they had a program set up for her to allow her to get out of jail with the condition she goes through the mental health court to be diagnosed and find out what's wrong with her.
Well, at least they've got a plan to get her out of their house.
Right.
well, okay.
We had her, she was supposed to go to intensive outpatient. She went one time, ended up getting kicked out of the mental health program, and then she skipped a warrant and had to go back in jail again.
Right now, she says that she goes out and looks for a job. And she takes the bus. The thing I have told Mitch is we should not pick her up from the bus stop. It's, 2 miles away.
That's
Be a
right.
good
Put
walk.
your foot down. She can live free. She can live free, and you can pay her bills, buy all
No,
her
we don't
food,
pay her
bail her out of
bills,
jail.
no.
But by
I
God,
feel
she's
like-
walking from the bus.
I feel like
Not going to have any of this. Well, Courtney's here, and she says she wants to apologize for her behavior
She's done
on
that
behalf
before.
of her mental illness. We'll be right back.
I have a mental illness. My family doesn't get my illness. They look at me like the black sheep. I have been pregnant over the past couple years a few times. I have lost children in these pregnancies.
And later,
Hey! Get me out of here! Why don't you shut up and get me out of here?
This February, he'll fight stronger.
My mom is so religious. She thinks any skirt over the knee is sinful.
To protect the innocent.
you tried to read the Harry Potter books?
It promotes witchcraft.
There's something wrong with you.
You're a waste of a life. I'm sorry, Dr. Phil, but
Well, you should be sorry. You've not said one positive thing about this young woman since you walked out here.
He'll push harder.
Have you molested your children?
never.
I was silent when he was taking advantage of me and our children. And I'm not going to be silent anymore.
To get the answers.
Eric is in a polyamorous relationship. I'm the most connected to myself than I've ever been. You're homeless with your children.
All new February.
Do you plan on living at home all your life?
And something you guys always fail to realize, that's not just me. Not getting help for mental illness, not knowing what the heck's wrong, is what holds me back.
With Courtney, there's always some drama that's going on to prevent her from getting her life together.
Courtney has an excuse for everything.
She's always going through something. Her main thing is like, I'm trying.
Courtney doesn't seem to want to look at herself for the cause of her problems. I'm almost to the point where I'm giving up on Courtney. I just need her to pull her pants up and say she's going to be responsible for her actions.
I just want to look my sister in the face and say, get your together.
Well, Mitch, his wife Kathy, and his daughter Stacy say no one in the family can trust the youngest daughter, Courtney, who has already, by age 27, been to jail twice, faked 3 pregnancies, according to them, pawned her father's wedding ring for cash, then denied it. But Courtney denies faking the pregnancies and says she just can't help her other behavior because her mental illness causes her to lie and steal. Take a look.
I think it's very important for people to know I have a mental illness, and because of it, my life is very, very hard. A few years ago, I was finally diagnosed with bipolar and attention deficit disorder.
Do you believe you have ADD?
Yes.
Or is it for the medication?
Oh my God, I'm not with you. One of my therapists even thinks that I actually suffer from borderline personality disorder. I refer to my illness as the devil because it's destroyed everything. I struggle with relationships, trust. I can't keep a job. Haven't been able to receive my high school diploma. Haven't got my driver's license. Now being 27 years old, I'm still living at home. I tell a lot of lies. I've lied about stealing, where I was going, drug use, taking money, taking my other family members' medication from them. I don't mean to steal. It's just a part of my mental illness. My family doesn't get my illness, doesn't get me. You annoy me so much when you say like the dumb stuff that you do. I have been pregnant over the past couple years a few times. I have lost children in these pregnancies. To think about my family thinking that I'm completely lying about this, it hurts. They look at me like the black sheep, the reject. I don't fit in. My mom thinks I use my illness as an excuse. My mom really gets on my nerves, and she triggers my bipolar. I feel like my dad's so disappointed in me. Stacy does give me the hardest time. She's my worst critic. I hit rock bottom this year when I spent time in jail. I learned my lesson. I want a relationship with my family, but they just need to give me a chance.
Courtney, how many chances do you want? We have given you a lot of chances. I don't know when to believe you. Just the other day when we were talking, you hand me, said, I have a present for you, Mom. I open it, and it says, can't wait to meet you, Mimi. And it's a pregnancy test, positive.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you're pregnant?
True, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And I'm not, no.
You gave her a positive pregnancy stick?
Yeah,
Where'd you get it?
that's irrelevant.
That can't be irrelevant because I asked it.
It's gonna be that I'm lying about it, so it's kind of pointless to say it. I was still using drugs, and then, yes, I did get pregnant.
So it was positive, and then you lost the baby within the last 2 weeks?
No, I didn't give it to her right when I took it. It was like 2 months after the situation happened, but going along with it, yeah, I don't know why I did that or what was wrong with me. Like
Okay,
I said,
so
my head
that's
doesn't.
so not irrelevant. This is so on point because you're saying this is indicative of what you say is your mental illness.
Yes, and lying.
Okay, so when you gave her that positive pregnancy test, you had already lost the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew when you handed it to her that you weren't pregnant.
Yeah.
What exactly did you write?
Like she said, can't wait to meet you, Mimi.
Okay, and take me through the moment that you wrote that. What were you thinking?
I don't know. Like, it doesn't add up.
It doesn't have to add up to know what you were thinking at the time. Were you thinking, this will make her happy in the moment? I'm going to get you, you bitch. I'm just writing this to have a fantasy for a day. What were you thinking? You were thinking something.
I don't remember. Like, I don't know.
So why did you do that? I just don't understand why she lies. That's why I think it's a mental issue, not just her doing it because she wants to.
Mom's gold necklaces, a can of soup in the store, Stacy's driver's license, her dad's wedding ring. You know, what of these four things does Courtney not admit to stealing? We'll be right back.
She was trying to convince other people that it was true.
But why? Why?
I'll say it one more time. One more time. So is everyone listening? I don't know.
Courtney is so selfish, she doesn't think of anyone but herself.
Stacy has gotten so fed up with all of Courtney's games.
Because of everything Courtney's put our entire family through, I completely resent her. I can't stand to be around her.
Courtney's pushed me right to the edge.
I absolutely resent what my daughter's doing.
I'm almost to the point where I'm just going to have to give up. This is kind of our last hope right here.
A lot of times I hate my sister.
If Stacey resents me, I can only apologize for my actions on behalf of my mental illness. It's not me trying to hurt her.
You agree that you've chosen a pattern of lying and being dishonest in certain areas of your life because it tends to work for you, right?
No, it doesn't work for me.
Well, you get a payoff for it or you wouldn't do it.
I can't help it. I'll lie, even if in the back of my mind I know right when it's coming out of my mouth, like, I should just tell the truth. Like, why am I lying? I shouldn't do that. And I'll just do it anyways.
I want to know why you brought that pregnancy test to me.
I know
You
why.
said you lost it 2 weeks before that. Why would you show me that when you weren't pregnant?
because she was trying to convince other people that it was true.
But why? Why?
That's the question.
Like I just said, I'll say it one more time. So is everyone listening? I don't know. That's what I want to figure out. Do you hear me? Did everyone listen?
Yes, but we can't continue letting you do this stuff. Just like, okay, you can go now.
Sorry.
What's your payoff for doing what you're doing? You're venting. It feels better when you vent, right?
Well, I'm letting her know
But
things
she's
that
already
we
heard all
know.
this from you. Like, she's already heard all this from you.
Okay.
You saying what you're saying to her now is not going to change anything. You know, I'm just saying. It's
But
not
I'm letting Dr. Phil know things that are going on.
He knows what's up.
Would you all become friends and
I'm
he
just
told you
saying,
everything?
he knows what the deal is. We need to find a solution. He doesn't need to go back and forth of what Courtney has been doing. You know, he knows what the deal is. He knows the story.
Thank you.
So let's find a solution.
Okay.
She's right.
She'll eat that up.
Here's the deal. You say, I don't know why. Everybody listen, pay attention. I'm going to tell you one more time. I don't know. Well, pay attention. I don't accept that answer. Did you get that?
Oh. Yeah.
Were you paying attention? Did I say it slow enough for you? Because you have this attitude, this chip on your shoulder, like you think if you're snotty enough that people will back off from you and not require you to participate in analyzing your own situation. But that doesn't intimidate me at all, because I would cheat you if I didn't require you to participate in figuring out what's going on, because you know more about you than anybody else. But you can't come in here and do the same thing you always do and expect to get a different result. You have to be willing to say, well, look, this is it. This is the time. This is no dress rehearsal. This is your time talking to me. So you don't want to do the same thing you always do, which is be defensive, shut down, and become combative. What you want to do is give me information that might allow me to have a key that unlocks some mystery within you. Because one thing we know is you're not a terrible person, because the things that you're doing in your life that are causing you conflict, you've never done anything terrible. You're not a violent person. You haven't killed anybody. You haven't gone and done some horrible thing to people. You haven't kidnapped some child. You haven't done some horrible thing to some person. You haven't done anything terrible, right? What you're doing are annoying things. You annoy people with stuff. A well person wouldn't do what you're doing, right?
Correct.
So we know you're not well in your either problem recognition, problem solving, emotional motivation and drives. We know something's wrong. You like to call it mental illness. I don't like labels, but I don't care. We just know that you're not a well thinker, or you wouldn't do those things, right?
Yes.
So we need to figure that out.
Courtney called me up. She told me she was pregnant, and it was definitely my baby. About a week later, Courtney texted me a picture of the sonogram saying good night from us.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. The girlfriend, the daughter, and the wife confront the man in their lives.
Why haven't you signed the divorce papers?
I've never been presented papers.
I have them right here.
That's tomorrow.
Now, Kathy and Mitch say they would describe their youngest daughter, Courtney, as a little angel growing up. But now she's already been to jail, lied to her family and friends, and faked at least one pregnancy that we know about. I mean, we talked about it right here. My producers called around while investigating Courtney's story and found someone who sheds a different light on her most recent pregnancy.
My name is Pete, and I'm Courtney's ex-boyfriend. I met Courtney through her older sister, Stacy, about 3 months ago. Courtney and I hit it off, and we had a fling for a couple weeks. We had sex numerous times. You know, our romance, it kind of fizzled out. Courtney moved on, and she started hanging out with another guy. About a month later, Courtney called me up. She told me she was pregnant, and it was definitely my baby. I wasn't sure how she knew it was my baby because she had moved on and she was seeing somebody else right after our fling. Then a few weeks after she told me I was the father of her baby, Courtney told me I was not the father. I was super confused. A few weeks after she told me I was not the baby's father, Courtney tells me that I am the father of her baby for the second time. I said, look, Courtney, I don't think you know who the father is. I wanted to get a paternity test. I spoke to Courtney's sister, Stacy, about what was going on. And Stacy flat out told me that she didn't think Courtney was really pregnant. About a week later, Courtney texted me a picture of the sonogram saying, good night from us. This is the sonogram that Courtney texted me. This was an 11-week-old baby that she told me that was our baby. I'm not a doctor, but things certainly did not add up. Looking at the picture of the sonogram, the baby looked a lot bigger than it should at 11 weeks. I just thought, none of this is adding up. 2 weeks ago, Courtney took a pregnancy test, and she was not pregnant. And I wanted to get to the bottom of this once and for all. I bought 2 more pregnancy tests. I made her take them. Both tests were negative. She acted surprised. Then she told me that she had lied. She had been making this entire thing up. To say the least, she needs some serious help. You know, you just don't mess with people like that. It's just not cool.
Courtney just decided to leave. Courtney's ex-boyfriend, Pete, is here today. So, Pete, come on out and join us, if you will. Hello, Pete. How you doing, man? Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Have a seat.
Hi, I'm Pete.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry I had to go through that. Hi.
Hello. Do y'all know each other?
Yeah.
Okay. Pete, I appreciate you being here, and simply put, I think Pete is here because he cares enough about your daughter to try to get all the cards on the table here and talk about this. So she did admit to you that she was lying about being pregnant.
Yes. She said she was about 11 weeks when she sent that picture. And I started looking online, you know, what 11-week sonograms look like. And the baby was much more mature than an 11-week baby would look like. And so that raised a red flag for me right there.
After taking 2 or 3 pregnancy tests that confirmed she wasn't pregnant, she admitted to you that she lied about it?
She did.
What did she say?
She told me that she had had a miscarriage about a month in. I asked her, what were you gonna do in a couple of months when, you know, if you're, say, 6 months along and you're gonna really be showing? What was the plan? And she was like, oh, I was gonna have, you know, a miscarriage. So when she told me that, what happened to, I had the miscarriage at a month in?
Yeah.
See, I don't even believe that. I think there was no pregnancy at all.
The question here is, can Courtney be helped despite her family's fears? We're going to talk about how this family can move forward, what needs to happen with absent Courtney now. And Pete, I think we'll excuse you from the deck here and see if she wants to come back at this point. You took time out of your life to come and speak here in an effort to help her, which you did not have to do. Thank you for taking time out of your life to come and talk to her, whether you have a future with her or whether you don't. So thank you. We'll be right back.
What can we do to try to help this situation?
Nothing. Leave me alone is what you can do. Like I said, I don't need y'all to get me home. I mean, let me out of my day. Get me out of here. Why don't you shut up and get me out of here?
You're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show? Call 323-461-PHIL or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. I want you to meet Dr. Frank Lawless. Dr. Lawless, raise your hand. Dr. Frank Lawless is chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board, which is made up of the top minds in psychology, psychiatry, medicine, sociology, theology, just the top minds from around the country. And he's the chairman. We've been together 45 years. He was my major professor in my doctoral program back in the day. So he's got an encyclopedic knowledge, honestly, of psychology. Frank, ADHD, bipolar, depression, these things don't explain the kind of behaviors we're talking about here, do they?
No, they don't. They talk about other issues, but basically we're not talking about the kind of behaviors that they have been describing.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is a category of dysfunction, such as personality disorder, for example, that might explain this, correct?
Yeah, the way I see it is basically Courtney is using an emotional intelligence of about 13. Now, what could this relate to? It could relate to drugs. It could be related to the way she's been raised in terms of the families. But we come down to the same issue: is it's a developmental process.
Right. You're not saying that she's not smart. You're saying in terms of emotional maturity and therefore emotional drives and problem solving, you're saying she's functioning at a developmentally impaired level.
That's right.
And that gap can be closed, right?
Absolutely. I think she's a really good candidate to learn from her behavior. It's just that she needs to be able to focus on it.
Mm-hmm. A personality disorder is an enduring pattern of inner experience and behavior that is pervasive, inflexible, and stable over time, leading to distress or impairment. And that's a lot of words, but let me break this down. What we're saying is an enduring pattern. That means this doesn't change day to day or week to week. This is a pattern. It's inflexible and stable, which means it's not easily changed. It's not easily changed. It's not like a habit, and so you just kind of quit doing this. It's not easily changed. It's resistant to change. And that's just personality disorder in general. And then there are different kinds. And one kind is antisocial personality disorder. And that's a pattern of violating the rights of others. It violates social norms. There's deceitfulness, manipulation, impulsivity, irritability and aggressiveness, reckless disregard for safety of self and others, irresponsibility, and lack of remorse. All right, coming up, is Courtney really a victim of her alleged mental illness, or is she playing her entire family for fools? I have a lot to say about that and what to do. We'll be right back.
Courtney's behaviors had a huge effect on Stacy.
Stacy's a recovering alcoholic.
Being around Courtney completely affects my sobriety. She's beyond toxic. I have definitely had some slip-ups since I've stopped drinking.
She can't help but feel anger towards me and resorts to taking another drink to resolve it.
Whenever I'm around her, I can literally just feel my blood boiling. Right now, I can't afford to be around Courtney. My sobriety is way more important than a relationship with my crazy sister.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
I propose that we fly Courtney to the PNP Center in Dallas for diagnostics and assessments and really have their team do a thorough workup on her. From there, we also recommend that Courtney go to Onsite, a worldwide leader in therapeutic and personal growth workshops located in Tennessee, where she can continue on her path towards achieving higher self-esteem and honesty, not just with others, but with herself. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
sexy day. I love taking care of people, and I love solving problems, and I love the studio audience that comes in here and has a great time. Have y'all had a good time today? Fellas, Valentine's Day is quickly approaching, so I'm going to do you a solid. And why not give your lady something to make her feel extra special as well, so you can fix that problem.
That's right. And ladies, if you don't have a Valentine, that's okay. Be your own Valentine and treat yourself with a My Valentine's gift box. I have put together some of my favorite products in this. The Foam and Joy Cleanser, my gentle but thorough cleanser. Hydro Quench, a night cream that hydrates while you sleep. And the 50 Fierce Moisturizing Sunscreen. Now, we all know how important that is. And, of course, what's Valentine's Day without jewelry? So I have included my bow ring. So you're going to love it on Valentine's Day.
If you want to get this gift box for somebody special in your life, go to RobinMcGrawRevelation.com. And just to prove how much I do love my audience, everybody's going home with Robin's Valentine's gift box. Robin and I would love for you to join us here in the audience. Tickets are free. Just go to drphil.com and click Get Tickets. We'll see you next time.
What can we do to try to help this?
Nothing. Leave me alone is what you can do.
We're gonna get you home. We just want to know what we can do. What should we tell Dr. Phil?
All right, well, I gotta go so I can get these people out of my face.
We don't want to let you leave until you're in a good place.
Alone, I'm not kidding. My family, stupid Stacy, like, all your own. I don't care.
Would you be willing to come back on the show to be just you and Dr. Phil?
Nope, it's not what I signed up for. Like I said, I don't need y'all to get me home. You need to get out of here, like. Get the camera out of my hey! Get me out of here! Why don't you shut the up and get me out of here?
Why don't we get you a car to the airport, okay?
I wish you would have stayed.
Today on Dr. Phil, she says,
I was pregnant for 7 months. I started to feel the baby kicking.
But her family says,
my daughter faked her pregnancy.
She lies about everything. That's not true. I had a miscarriage.
the shocking accusations.
My father grabbed me and threw me on the ground.
Do you really believe that he killed your baby?
Yes, I do.
It's the worst thing you could say to me.
Who's telling the truth?
Why would she be doing this?
For drama, to make her life seem more interesting.
Did she fake her pregnancy?
First time I saw my daughter in a sonogram, I fell in love immediately.
Actually, that wasn't your sonogram at all. Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, 3, take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Well, Todd says that for 7 months, his daughter Cassie faked a pregnancy. Now, Cassie maintains that she was pregnant until her father attacked her, and she says he killed the baby. Take a look.
My sister Cassie is a pathological liar and manipulates every situation she can to her benefit.
My daughter Cassie faked her pregnancy for 7 months.
I was pregnant for 7 months and nobody believed me. The first time I saw my daughter in a sonogram, I fell in love immediately.
I don't believe there's any chance she was ever pregnant. The doctors say she was never pregnant.
I started to feel the baby kicking when I was 19 and a half weeks pregnant.
She went to her doctor's appointments alone. I believe Cassie didn't want anybody to go because her whole story would fall apart.
My father started to think that I was lying when a girl in my class started making comments. She didn't think I was getting big enough.
There is no chance Cassie was ever pregnant.
On June 2nd, 2011, I had a miscarriage at 7 months.
The day of the supposed miscarriage, Cassie was throwing a fit. She became aggressive, violent, tried to hit me.
He grabbed me and threw me on the ground. I was punched, kicked, and dragged around the yard.
I dragged her around the front of the house so they didn't think I was beating her and abusing her. My girlfriend called the police.
The police took me to the hospital. They told me that I was having a miscarriage, and they told me that there was no heartbeat anymore. She was gone.
They did 3 separate sonograms and pregnancy tests on her. All of them came up negative. They showed all these to Cassie. Cassie still told them they were wrong.
In my heart, I will always believe my father killed my baby.
Okay. What's going on here, in your opinion? If in fact she is lying and she was never pregnant, why would she be doing this?
Attention.
Well, here's the problem with that. I mean, eventually you either have to come up with a baby or not. So you're going to hit a wall on your story, right?
Which is what I think she did.
That's when she said you attacked her and killed her baby.
And she'd quit school just prior to this because she was being questioned at school.
Right. You don't think she was ever pregnant?
No, there's no chance
question
she was
about
ever
it.
pregnant, no.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because she lies about everything. The doctors have said she was never pregnant, that she faked all of this. She had all these fake pictures on Facebook. There was nothing. There's no way to prove.
And y'all have confronted her with that, correct?
Right.
Repeatedly.
And what does she say?
We're all
Everybody's
liars.
wrong
The
but
doctors
her.
are wrong.
Has she ever said anything to you that indicates she had any insight or confession that she was lying? Do you
No.
think she believes what she's saying when she says it?
Sometimes, yeah. But sometimes I think that she's just doing it for more of the story.
For what?
For more of a story, for drama, to make her life seem more interesting.
What will she say when I ask her? She's going to join us here in a minute, and I'm going to say, what's the deal here? Were you pregnant? Were you not? What's happening? What's she going to say to me?
She's going to say she was pregnant.
She'll stick with that story
no matter what.
Yet today. Has she been raped?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you believe she was raped?
Not recently, no.
In the van?
No.
You don't believe that story?
No.
I've never heard that
I've never
story.
heard of that until a few days ago.
You just heard that just recently?
Yeah.
You just heard it recently? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Was she molested when she was younger?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've confirmed that, so that's
Yes.
not her story. That's something that you know to be true.
Yes.
Now, you haven't talked to her in 3 months?
Correct.
Why not?
Because talking to Cassie causes more drama and turmoil, and it's just not worth the fight.
Yeah.
There's nothing I say is going to change what Cassie believes in her own head.
So, when are you afraid she's going to accuse you of things?
She's accused me of the worst thing she could possibly accuse me of already.
Murdering her baby?
Yes.
Was there a fight? Was there an altercation?
I went to the house to express extension. I was taking her to the hospital. I'd already talked to the hospital. I got there. She knew she was going. She took off running from me. I chased her down and drug her back around the front of the house while she was screaming and kicking and fighting and trying to hit me. And I held her in place and had them call the police and had the police take her to the hospital.
So your actions were restraint?
Yes.
Until the authorities could transport her
yes.
to the hospital. All right. Well, I think we should have her join us. So I want Cassie to come on out. How did you find out you were pregnant?
I took multiple pregnancy tests.
How many did you take?
I took a total of 7.
If you were pregnant and you knew you were pregnant, why did you take 6 more tests?
And later.
Because I killed a baby. It's the worst thing he could say to me.
Do you really believe that he killed your baby?
Yes, I do.
Hi, Cassie.
Hello.
Dr. Phil, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Have a seat if you would. There are some issues here about whether you were pregnant or whether you weren't, but to me the bigger issue is this family relationship and how you fit into it and how everybody's getting along here. Because that's important to me, because I think family's important. So I want to talk about all of that stuff. What's your relationship with your father right now?
I don't have a relationship with him.
Do you want one?
I'm not sure at this time.
Yeah. Why do you not have a relationship with him?
Because he kept telling my grandparents to kick me out constantly. And I just can't handle a relationship with him.
Okay. And what's your relationship with your sister?
I haven't spoke to my sister in over a year.
In over a year?
Yes.
Why not?
We just lost touch of communication.
We've talked to you and asked you a lot of questions, and you were very straightforward with us. You answered everything we asked you. Thank you very much. And one of the things you told us is that you were 7 months pregnant.
Yes.
And that you were attacked by your father.
Yes.
Who, in your words, killed your baby, murdered your baby.
Correct.
Correct? It was interesting when I asked you a minute ago, I said, why do you not have a relationship with your father? You didn't mention that he had murdered your child. You mentioned that he was bad-mouthing you to your grandparents. In a pecking order, I would think child murder would come ahead of bad-mouthing me to my grandparents.
Yes, it does.
Do
but
you...
That's just something that's automatic. I figured it was already
Understood.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Who's the father?
An ex-boyfriend of mine.
Did he know you were pregnant?
Yes, he did.
So you told him, he knew
Yes.
about it? Was he going to step up and be a father?
Yes, he was.
And how did he feel when the baby was lost?
He was very upset and hurt about it.
How did you find out you were pregnant?
I took multiple pregnancy tests.
How many did you take? You took a lot, right?
I took a total of 7,
7 across what period of time?
approximately 2 months.
Okay. And the first one was positive, right?
Correct.
Okay. If you were pregnant and you knew you were pregnant, why did you take 6 more tests?
Because I didn't want to believe the first test.
Yeah. And you believed her at first, correct?
Yes.
And what was your reaction?
Shock.
Yeah. What was your reaction? Did you believe her at first?
Yeah, I believed her at first, for the first few months.
As long as a few months.
Yeah.
Why did you start to not believe her?
Because that's when I was told that she wasn't pregnant any longer, and they'd talked to doctors, and all the doctors said she wasn't pregnant.
You say you gained 20 or 30 pounds during the pregnancy?
Yes, I did.
Is that correct?
Probably.
So you put some weight on?
Yes, I did.
And when you went to the doctor, they confirmed the pregnancy?
Correct.
And did they put you on prenatal vitamins and that sort of thing?
They told me I could take the over-the-counter prenatal vitamins if I felt it was necessary.
Did you?
Later on, I started taking some.
When you went to the doctor, you were there in March, at which point you would have been how far along? 15 weeks, I think.
Yes.
Why'd you wait so long to go to the doctor? 15 weeks that's second trimester.
Yes, I was still trying to figure out what doctor I wanted to go to.
Yeah. Well, we were provided records from this doctor visit on March 7th at 15 weeks, and they were pretty clear. They did an examination and a sonogram, and it says in the records it was noted that the sonogram was done and there was 0 fetus noted in the uterus. They said there was 0 fetus was revealed, certainly not a 15-week fetus, and that all this information was relayed to you, the patient.
It's not true.
Well, it is true, because it was written down contemporaneous with the examination, where it says that the sonogram was done and it showed the presence of no fetus of any size whatsoever, and that was explained to you in detail.
It's not true.
I'm sorry?
That's not true.
Which part of it's not true?
I was pregnant.
Let's see if we can come up with what we can agree on. Was this your doctor?
Yes.
And did you go there on March 7th?
I'm not sure the date as to when I went there.
Well, it was March 7th was the day that you filled the paperwork out. And you mentioned that your last period had been approximately November 11th previously, and you calculated up that you were therefore 15 weeks pregnant and that you had a due date of August 28th.
That's what they calculated.
This is all on intake. And then on this page, they started the actual examination. And they got your weight, they got your blood pressure, they got your temperature, they got all of the stuff that they normally get. And then they took you into an exam room and did a sonogram so you could see the fetus. Correct? You remember that?
Yes.
And then they wrote down sono, that's their shorthand for sonogram. Sono revealed 0 fetus, certainly not 15-week fetus. It's written down with some other information here on these contemporaneous records. Do you recall all that?
I recall that they took me to the exam room to have a sonogram done.
And you recall them putting the gel on and doing all the stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so we agree on all that. All we disagree on is what they said. You said they told you and showed you the fetus, right?
Yes.
And you actually took a sonogram report and picture and put it up on your Facebook.
Correct.
Right. Where did you get that sonogram picture?
From them.
Well, actually, there was research done on that sonogram picture, and it came from an article.
No, that came from what they gave me.
With a California doctor that was doing a demonstration. That wasn't your sonogram at all.
That's not true.
Where did you get that picture?
They gave me the picture of my daughter. I'm being honest.
Do you really believe you were pregnant?
Yes, I do.
Cassie says she was living with her grandmother while she was pregnant. Her grandmother, Cheryl, says she took Cassie to some of her doctor's appointments, and Cheryl's going to join us by phone now. Cheryl, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I've got one goal here, and that is to try and get everybody in touch with reality and see if we can heal this family and bring everybody back together. Tell us what you'd like to add.
Well, I'd like to add that I love my granddaughter very much, but just about everything she has said is not the truth. She wouldn't let me go in the exam room with her or even talk to the doctor. So I called the doctor a few days later because Cassie came out and told me they'd seen the baby and all this. So I called the doctor and talked to her. And she told me, no, Cassie was never pregnant. And she also went to the Women's Crisis or Pregnancy Center. They did a test. They said she was not pregnant. The Methodist Hospital did one. They said she was not pregnant. So Cassie was never pregnant. I asked her if she lost the baby, where is the baby? And she couldn't tell me. Okay. And her dad did not hit her or anything. It was rain that night, and she did slip and fall in the grass, and he pulled her for about 5 feet. And we called the police, and they came, and they told Todd that he sure didn't look like he'd been in a scuffle. You know, told both of them because there was no marks. And the police did not take her to the hospital. She did not go to the hospital at all that night.
Where did she go?
She stayed here.
Mm-hmm.
That's not accurate. I went into the hospital on June 2nd, the day that I lost my daughter.
Cassie, the day you and your dad, when the police came,
that was on
you
June
did not
2nd.
Go.
That is on June 2nd. Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a few things. Cheryl, let me interrupt you for a minute. because I like to see anytime people have a disagreement, I try to narrow down the disagreement by seeing what it is we can agree about, and then that way we only have a few things left to solve. So, Cassie, can we agree that you had a sonogram done at your doctor's?
Yes.
And then did you go to the crisis center?
I went to the Women's Pregnancy Center before then, and they recommended me going to that doctor.
Okay, and did they do a pregnancy test there?
Yes, they did.
Did they do a sonogram?
No.
Okay, and so then did you also go to the hospital?
On June 2nd.
And did they test you?
Yes, they did.
Pregnancy, okay. So we can agree that you went to your doctor, that you went to the women's clinic, and then you went to the hospital and you were tested for pregnancy in all three of those places?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what we disagree with is you say that they all three said you were pregnant.
Correct.
And they say that they all said you were not pregnant. Okay, so how is it that we're so off on what actually took place?
I'm not sure.
Here's what I think. I think that you very much wanted to be pregnant.
No, I didn't.
And I think sometimes young girls feel like if they have a child, that they'll have somebody that really loves them and makes them feel really special and has a unique relationship with them. And I think if that's a child that has not had a real happy and smooth time, that can seem like a really important solution. And I think that you had some very rough treatment at a younger age, and I'm very sorry for that, by the way, what was done to you younger. I think it's just terrible, and I'm sorry that happened to you, and it's not fair. But I think you wanted this to be the case. I think you wanted to feel really special. And so I think you really committed to it. And now I don't think you have a face-saving way out of it. I don't want you to be embarrassed. I just want you to say, look, I'm confused and I need some help. That's all. I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to attack you. I don't want to be ugly with you in any way. I want you to be happy and healthy and have a wonderful, vibrant life and have a really good time in this world. But you can't do that if you don't get completely honest. You have to be authentic and you have to be honest.
I am being honest.
And do you really believe you were pregnant?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and I can understand how you could believe you were pregnant. But I don't think that I understand how you can believe that the doctor told you one thing when we know they wrote down something else. Not in one place, not in two places, but in three places. The records all reflect no pregnancy, patient advised. This means they did a test, no pregnancy, and advised the patient, you, that wasn't the case. And if you heard something different, then that makes me think that you're not hearing right, that you're distorting reality. I want to help you. I want you to have a good relationship with your father. I want you to have a good relationship with your sister. But to do that, you've got to be honest with yourself and with me.
I am being honest.
But to say that you were pregnant when not one, but two, but three places tested you and said you weren't. And even if you say they told you were, you recognize now that in these records, they're writing down here, sono, 0 fetus indicated. Okay? And then back here in the notes, sono revealed 0 fetus. Certainly not 15 weeks. And it says all information given to patient. So 0 fetus, certainly not 15 weeks, patient was briefed. So are you saying they wrote this down while telling you that you had a daughter on the way?
They told me that I was pregnant.
Even though they wrote this down. Do you see how that would be difficult for someone like me that just comes in after the fact to believe? You know, what am I to think? Because they wrote down one thing and you say they told you something else, and then we know that you put a sonogram picture up on your Facebook that's part of a instructional course on the internet. We found it. We found it. It's there.
Okay, well, that's what they gave me.
So you're saying if that was not your sonogram, it's because they gave you someone else's.
That's what they gave me.
So they must have gotten it somewhere else, if it's not yours, is what you're saying. Okay. Cassie's family says that her pregnancy isn't the only thing that she lies about, and they do think she's lying. We're going to find out about more of this when we come back.
I have 3 Facebook pages.
She's created this friend, Courtney Neal, that doesn't exist.
Courtney is an alter ego to Cassie. She is a figment of Cassie's imagination.
What do you think as you watch what's happening here?
It hurts. She says I killed a baby. What's the worst thing he could say to me? I've done everything in the world for you I can, and this is what you do to me.
Do you really believe that he killed your baby?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he meant to?
He kept telling me that I wasn't pregnant and I was lying.
Do you believe that your father loves you?
Actually, no.
Does it bother you that your father is in pain?
No.
You don't care? If what you're saying is a lie or a mistake, would you be sorry that you're causing him pain?
No.
You don't care?
No.
That you caused him pain? Why do you not care?
Because of all the things he has done.
What has he done to you?
He's told me repeatedly that I need to, like, everything I've done, he's not proud of me for.
Right. Is this your way of getting even with him?
No. I gave up on caring for him.
Why do you think he's here today?
I don't know.
Was he around when you miscarried at the hospital?
No.
Did when you miscarried at the hospital, did they give you an option of what you wanted to do with the fetus?
No.
They didn't?
No.
They didn't ask you if you wanted to have a funeral or a service or anything?
No.
What did they do with the fetus?
I'm not sure.
So you don't know? You don't know if they disposed of it or you have no idea what they did with it?
No.
You understand if a hospital did that, they would be in really serious trouble if they did that.
Okay.
So if I were you, and I believe that they had unceremoniously disposed of a 7-month fetus, wow, I'd be really upset about that. Did you ever ask them what they did?
He told me that she was gone and it would be better for me to just try to move on with my life.
How is your life otherwise?
I'm
aside from this?
doing well in my life.
Who do you live with?
Myself.
You live by yourself?
Yes, I do.
How do you get by financially?
I work full time.
You around people a lot?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. You get along well?
Yes, I do.
Now, your family believes that you have created multiple Facebook pages and actually made up a friend by the name of Courtney that doesn't really exist. Take a look.
Cassie has created multiple Facebook accounts.
She's got one for Cassie Noel. She's got one for Cass, and then she has one for Lily Elizabeth, this baby that never existed.
I have 3 Facebook pages. My page and Lily's page, and I have an old profile that's still activated. I created a Facebook page in remembrance of Lily. I post on there that I miss her and that I wish she could be here.
Your life was taken before it began, and now you're an angel in heaven.
She's created this friend, Courtney Neal, that doesn't exist. She carries on conversations between just these 4 accounts. I feel like she's lonely and she doesn't know how to ask for help. She's trying to talk to herself to try to figure out what's wrong with her through 4 different people. It's all her.
Courtney is an alter ego to Cassie. She is a figment of Cassie's imagination.
Courtney's one of my best friends. We've known each other since 7th grade.
No one else has ever met Courtney, and all of Courtney's pictures are of Cassie.
Cassie has this whole life built for Courtney, the life Cassie wishes she had. She's married. She's got a daughter named Maggie, and they have their own house. They're living this great life that Cassie has dreamed up. Courtney is not a real person.
Is that true?
No, it is not.
We asked you if you could give us information to get in touch with
Yes,
Courtney.
I gave you guys a phone number.
But the phone number doesn't exist.
That's
It's
the number.
disconnected.
Okay, then I have no way for you guys to get in a hold of her. That's the number I have for her.
Have you made up Facebook pages for people that don't exist?
No.
Because you believe that she has, correct?
Yes.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
why do you say absolutely?
She just talks back and forth with Courtney, and now she has a Facebook for Courtney's husband too. I just saw that a couple days ago. And then she has a fake Facebook for her baby. And Courtney's the only one who supports Cassie besides another of her friends. And Courtney is always the one who's always defending Cassie. And whatever Cassie says, Courtney says the exact same thing. They're the only 2 who have ever seen each other. No one else has ever seen Courtney.
That's not true.
I think that she needs to come to grips with reality and that she's going to lose everyone if she keeps lying about everything.
You've always been my little girl. Stop this.
What could happen that would help you heal this relationship with your father and your sister?
I don't want to heal a relationship with them.
You're not interested
No.
at all? Is that painful to you to not have that
Nope.
connection? Pardon me?
No.
It's not? If you believe that you lost this baby, have you been in mourning for that?
Yes, I have.
And how's that going?
It's all right.
If I were to offer you some professional help, just privately to help you get past your anger towards these folks and to help you sort out all of your thinking, just as our gift to you, which we do with anyone that comes here, would you avail yourself of that? Would you do that?
I won't get over my anger towards them.
Well, but if you could find some more peace, if I got you some professional help to just help you be more peaceful about the loss that you believe took place, the absence of your family members and all, would that be something you would take advantage of if I offered it to you?
Possibly.
Because you don't seem very happy, and I don't want that to be the case. I'd like to help you with that if you would let me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to say to your sister before we finish here?
I think that she needs to come to grips with reality and realize that nothing ever happened the way she says it happened. And that she needs to realize she's going to lose everyone if she keeps lying about everything and keeps coming up with these crazy stories and exaggerating the truth. And I think that she needs to realize that everyone cares about her, but we can't deal with all the craziness and all the drama that she's created.
Is there anything you want to say?
I love you, Cassie. I just want you back. You've been with me forever. You've always been my little girl. Stop this.
Nope.
Nothing you want to say? Okay. Do you think I believe you were pregnant?
Really, I don't care what anyone thinks. I know the truth, and my friends know the truth.
Well, I want you to know, real straight up, that I don't believe you for a second. But I think you may believe it. And I'm not mad at you about it. I'm not judging you for it. I just want to help you kind of get at peace with yourself about it. And it's okay. And, you know, I would like it if you would tell me you know you weren't pregnant. But you're not going to do that, are you?
I know for a fact I was.
Okay. I get that. And I'm going to speak to your father and your sister for just a minute, just privately, so I'm going to excuse you, and then we'll talk with you backstage in just a few minutes, okay? And I thank you for coming out here and being willing to be here. I've been doing a lot of things as I was sitting here talking to her, and I asked a lot of things for my benefit that probably didn't make a lot of sense to y'all, but I can tell you that there's a better than even chance that she has now convinced herself that this all took place, and meaning that you could put her on a polygraph and she'd flatline it. So the point is that sometimes people create a delusional system, and at first it's a fantasy, it's a story they tell, it's drama, as you say. People that lie so much and create these fantasies generally do it because they're really dissatisfied with their life. That's why they embellish everything. It's like, God, my life is boring, you know, I'm dull, nobody likes me, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I sound, I don't like what I do day in and day out. So I need to embellish it, you know. It's like, you know, I'm a secret agent, or I'm this, or I'm that. And they play these roles for a period of time, and it gives them from escape from the doldrums of their life. But then they get so much into character, becoming method actors, that they begin to actually believe it. And they begin to emote as though those things had happened. And I think there's a fair chance that she now actually believes this, because her comfort zone is to fight.
Yes.
Which is why I chose not to fight with her. You saw I was gentle in my confrontation with her. I did use facts to confront her, and she is steadfast. You got to give her that. She's committed.
She is.
I mean, it's that's a mark of a good liar. You got to commit. And you got to stay with it. And she has, to the point that I think she may actually believe this at this point. And the problem is they get in so deep, there's no face-saving way out. I mean, how do you create all of this and then say, never mind? There's no face-saving way out. There's no way to get out of it without just totally annihilating yourself. And so you paint yourself into a corner, and I believe that's where she is at this point. Now, what I am going to do is arrange for her to have a female counselor that can meet with her and work with her, and probably not confront this in the first 5 minutes, but try to get her in a safe, protected environment to begin to examine some of these things that she may now be diluted into thinking are true. And you have to be patient with that for a period of time, and we'll provide that. That's just our gift to her and to y'all. And see if we can turn some of that around. If she fails to do that, then I think we have to consider some more aggressive interventions that involve perhaps involuntary sort of treatment. But it's so much better if we can convince her to go versus compel her to go.
Right.
But I'm going to start that right away, and then we'll see how that goes. I think you've done the very right thing in bringing her here. I get it. I get everything that's going on. I know the kind of resources to bring to bear. Give me a chance to work on this, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Fair enough? All right, we'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests for being here today and sharing their stories. And it really is about sharing a story, because everybody up here is a teaching tool. Because I can't tell you the thousands and thousands of letters and posts on our sites that we get from people saying, you know, you were talking to me today, Dr. Phil, or what she said about her marriage was my marriage. What that kid's going through was what we're dealing with. And that's the value of what we're doing here. I think it informs and instructs a lot of people at home that don't have the ability to be here, the advantage of being here. So it is helpful. So even to you guys, I know you're here for a very specific problem, but you're also using your life to help others that are up against very similar situations, and it's not all that rare, frankly. So thank you for sharing, and we'll have a plan, and we'll stay in very close touch. So thanks for being here. So long.